Hello and welcome to today's video. We are launching into spring makeup trends for 2017. I was combing through the pages. Actually, that's old school. I was combing through Pinterest and I was trying to find some trends that I felt would work for this audience. Quite a few interesting things out there, things that our 18-year-old daughter or stepdaughter might enjoy. I'm talking yellow and blue eyeshadow and glitter on the lips, but these are things that we will not partake in. I did find two trends that I thought you might enjoy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a two-parter. The first one is going to highlight a really big spring trend, which will go well with a lot of the florals that are still very popular this season. And that is a bold red lip, but instead of the winter red, which was more of a matte, muted type of a red, a little dark, almost a bloody red, this is a bright red with a tiny bit, and I won't say shine, but a little bit of a cream base. And so what I want to do is multi-purpose your products. I always present products on this channel that I love and that I use, and I think it's a crying shame to buy something for one season and then some editor says, oh no, but you need red and it has to be creamy. And so you go out and you buy a $25 creamy red lipstick when you could very well take your matte red and make it creamy. So I'm going to show you how to repurpose your product, tap into spring, and really enjoy this season. So let's push in, get close and intimate, and let's get started. So in the name of brevity, I've already done my foundation, my concealer, powder, and eyebrows. This really focuses on the lip and a very subdued eye and blush. And there's an interesting trend with blush as well. So let me launch into all of that. First, I'm going to start actually with the blush. It is a peachy look. And so I'm using Jentry Kelley's, it's called Glowing Apples, and it's a nice warm summer peach, and that's the whole idea with this look along with the red lip, is creating a sun-kissed look. And it really brings us gals back to the 80s when we used to do a little bit of a stronger blush along the cheekbone, and then what they're doing this season is they're carrying it up into the eye area and just above the eyebrow where we would normally contour, and that's where we put our contour shade in the winter, but this time around we're using our blush. So I'm going to use my angled blush brush and get cracking. Starting right here on the apples of the cheeks, just lightly tapping down. I'm a believer in building blush. Start conservatively and then work your way up. And this, like I said, is going up into the hairline to about right here at an angle. Same with the other side. Up here into the hairline. It's where the sun gets you. You know, if you've been outside, you got your hair pulled back, you get a nice little hit of sun right here on the cheeks and up along the forehead. So that's what we're recreating. And now we're going to move on to the eye. The trend is, and granted, the gals on the runway are, you know, teenagers, so they are barely wearing any makeup, maybe just a little bit of mascara on the top lash, a tiny bit of shadow, and they can pull that off because I don't know what it is when you're 18, but your eyes just seem bigger. Do our eyes shrink as we get older? I feel like they do. So anyway, just one little lick of mascara just isn't going to do it. I'm going to look like I've got two slits for eyes. So I'm going to build the eye, but just a little. It's a subtle look. Here's where you get to now repurpose your blush. So again, it's a warm sun-kissed look. So now take your blush, take your finger, tap it, and now you're going to put it right on your lid, right here. And it brings a really pretty peach glow to the lid. I like doing this with the finger because you get a stronger application this way as opposed to the brush. And when you have a good amount on the lid, we're now going to use a product that I have shown you recently on my channel. And this is the beauty of a great contour and highlight kit, because not only is this NYX contour and highlight powder great for contouring and highlighting, guess what? wonderful eyeshadows as well. Isn't that great? So what I'm going to do is take a couple of these browns, and I'm now going to go in a little bit in the hollow of the eye, carve that out, because as we mature, we tend to get droopy eyes. So sometimes we need a little bit of a lift there. And I'm going to take this lighter brown shade right here in the contour kit. It's the one next to the dark brown. And put that on my brush. And now I'm going to go right here into the crease of the eye, very, very lightly, and come out. Again, like I said, the younger gals don't need this step. Their eyes just are bigger. We have to make ours look bigger, okay? Same for the other side. Very, very light. You're not going all the way in the middle. That closes the eye off, brings it together. We're starting from just a hair inside the pupil, into the crease, a little bit above that. That's what opens up the eye. And a slight whisk out. And that gives the eye some width as well. And we can soften all of this with a blending brush later. The next one I will use is the darkest brown shade in the contour kit. That's now going to go on the outside of the eye with a relatively firm brush. And I'm now blocking in the outside of the eye, giving it a little bit of depth. Again, this eye look is going to be more subtle because the emphasis is going to be on the lip. So you just go from the outer corner of the eye up into the hollow and just a tiny, tiny bit out. And all of the emphasis is going to be on the upper eye and not on the lower. Doing anything down below, if you're not careful, can make a real droopy eye. And at this stage of the game, we're trying to lift. Okay, and now I'm using a wider brush, and out of the highlight kit, I will go, not the yellow, but any one of the lighter ones, probably not the yellow or the outside. That's a little too white, but one of these will do. And this is just going right here under the brow bone for a little bit of lift, and on the inner corner. Little light on the inner corner widens the eye, and under the brow bone gives some good definition, separates the eyebrow from the eye makeup. And if there are any harsh lines along the way, this is pretty soft, but I have a very soft blending brush. All my brushes are from Jentry Kelley, but this one, you just take it, and if you see any hard lines, you sort of go in a circular motion and just whisk it all together. But like I said, this is a very light eye look. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is take a firm, packed brush, and I'm going to use a black eyeshadow. This is the Urban Decay Naked kit, and it has a ton of colors, as you clearly see, including a black. So I'm going to take this brush, just tap it in the black, and now I'm going to run this along my upper lash line, not in the waterline. This is going right on the lash line itself, and I'm just touching it in. Take your time with this. You don't want to get messy with your dark color. And it's always better to work from the underside and just wiggle and push it in, because that way you don't get too thick of a black line on top. And when that happens, you ruin the pretty peach effect that you created. So just work from underneath and press it in. And I have to say, sometimes the advantage of working with a powder instead of a liner, one of the biggest complaints about liners is that they smudge and start to fall downward. And I find with a powder, it stays in place a little bit better. Okay, and from here, I'm now going to apply a false eyelash strip. I personally love Andrea Strip Lash number 53. They are light, natural looking, not too wide. One of my biggest complaints with falsies is that they're too wide for the eye and I have to cut them down. These just somehow fit perfectly. And when I apply these and then put a light layer of mascara on top, it's just right. So I'm going to use a little pincher, get it out, and I will use that little pincher as well to apply the lashes. And I will also use the little duo glue that comes with it. And so I will take the lash. Since I'm going to start with the left, I'll grip it with my left hand. And what I do is I'll squirt just a tiny little bubble of glue right about there. And then take that and then just draw the rest of it with the tip along the lash line. And that usually produces enough glue to do the job. Okay. And then this is really good to hold it in place. And again, you're matching up your own lash line. Use this to bring it in. And then once you feel it's in place, you can then use your fingers and then just push it in. But the key is to get it right on your lash line. And then I just take my fingers like so and just do a little bit of pressing. If it gets a little too high or too low in any area, just use your fingers to lift it and move it. The white glue will disappear, and you can even take your finger and just sort of tap if wherever you see any residual. But there we go. That one went in place very, very easily. Off to the next. And then you want to check for symmetry. So you can just wiggle it and pull it until it's just right. Again, very, very pretty, very natural looking. I'm going to let them dry, and then what I will do before I put on any mascara, I may check and see if I want to add a little bit of that black shadow right here along the lash line, just to give it a little bit of an extra border. Again, use shadow instead of a pencil because the pencil will pull and will most likely take that strip lash right off. So again, now I'm going to close my eye and just run that shadow right here on top and just toward the outer third. And now what you can do is apply your favorite mascara to combine both your lashes and the false strip. I'm using Tarte Maneater in black, and just a little coat will do it. Like I said, I don't want to look like I've got gargantuan lashes here. Just a little bit more than what God gave me, which in this case is a lot. And I find that this thinner strip of a falsie is easier to apply as well. So if you're a newcomer to this, certainly try with this one before you advance to the big old tarantula lashes. Again, the eye isn't the focal point here, but I do want it to at least be enough to balance out the bright red lip that we have coming. So this is a good opportunity to assess if any shadow or anything fell below. I have a little bit of leftover concealer in my brush, so I'll just take it and sweep it all away and clean up any residual powder. And when I'm happy with that, I will set it with remainder powder that's in my puff and just press it in. Okay, so now that I have my makeup on, my eye makeup at least, I can assess and see, am I happy with the blush? Do I feel I need maybe just a tiny, tiny bit more? See, it's funny, once you apply eye makeup, things change. And again, this real peachy blush coming up a little bit higher is a big trend for 2017 here in the spring. Okay, so now another secret that I wish to share with you. Matte, bright red, deep red, burgundy, all the rage this winter. If you went out and purchased one of those lipsticks, I don't want you to feel that you are stuck with it until next winter when it has condensed and turned into some other product that we don't know. So I want you to get the most bang for your buck. And the way to do that is to take your matte red lipstick, and in my case, I'm going to use Stila, and it's Beso. I featured this one before in the perfect red lip. I love this color. It is a true red. It dries and it will stay put. So a way that you can now add a little moisture content to your lipstick is to either take a product like Aquaphor, or even the Lancino lip balm that I've mentioned before. And once you've applied your lipstick, you can add a little bit of this and voila, you suddenly have a creamy textured lipstick. Or you can even add a little bit of a peachy lip gloss, which also brings in another trend, and that is an orangey red shade for summer. So since this is an uber matte lipstick, I feel most comfortable applying it with a lip brush, and this is a MAC lip brush. I take a little bit and I will start on the inside of my mouth and then work my way outward. And I don't like using a lip liner with a red. I think it gets to be too much, and when you have a matte lipstick like this and you carefully draw your line, it's good enough. So once I've built the inner part, I then take the residual. I won't add more of the lipstick here, and I will start working on that line below. Take your time. Red is very unforgiving if it goes outside the line. Almost there. This is the longest part. Whew. Okay, so the matte red lip is in place. Like I said at this point, if you adore the color and you don't want to alter it, just take a little bit of Aquaphor. You can even put it on your lip brush and just lightly go around the middle part of the lip, not the whole thing, because then it's just become a gooey, icky mess. Just around the center, give you a little bit of moisture. Or you can add a peachy color, and this is by Circa. This is Nylon Pop, and it's a lovely peach. I've also featured this many a times as a standalone lip gloss, but you can take something like this and now add it on top of your lipstick. Again, a shade that doesn't have to sit around in the drawer. You get to continue to use it, and I love doing that. So like I mentioned before with the Aquaphor, just in the middle, just to bring in a tiny, tiny bit of moisture, a little iridescence. If you want to go that route, in this case it's just a cream colored peach, but it elevates your matte red now into a spring red, which is all the rage with the peachy blush that continues up into the hairline, and it really is so fun with all of the florals and the bright colors that are available to you this spring. And here is what the whole thing looks like pulled together with the dress and the makeup, and as you can see, it's a very fun, festive type of a look, great for a party or girls going out or whatever it is that makes you happy. So that is part one of my spring trend for you. Part two is a complete departure, a hard right from this look, but something that I'm very familiar with and something you're used to seeing on this channel, but with a slight variation. How exciting is that? Anyway, comment, suggestions, ideas. Many of you have requested a wardrobe tutorial, specifically business appropriate wardrobe, and I would love to do that. So if that's something that you would like, give me a 2 thumbs up on that. So many wonderful things to talk about this spring and summer when it comes to trends. So I'm your channel, I'm your place, I'm here for you. Continue to follow me on social media as you always do. KPRC Channel 2 at 6 and 10. My station's website streams my newscast live, so you get to see that part of my life wherever you are if you wonder what it's like being a news anchor. Anyway, with your bright red lip modified for spring, your blushy cheeks, go out, be bold, be blessed this week, have fun, and I'll see you in one more week. Bye.